All right, welcome to Talk About Paint Club, your tri-monthly tangent from the world around you. I'm Rick Strohmeyer, and I got nothing fancy to say.
I'm Matt Hattress, and this is going to be my chill girl era.
Chill girl era. All right.
We'll see how well that works out.
I'm chill. All right, so welcome everybody to 2024. Can you believe it? Anyway, so we have so Happy New Year. We had 2 weeks off, so what a fantastic break. Time to celebrate with friends, family, etc.
And have bronchitis and die and
bronchitis. You know, everybody had a little bit of sickness one way or the other. My house had it too. And
I know which kid gave it to me too.
Hey. Well, you know.
When I see him, I'm gonna look at him and be like, "Hey, you."
Oh, you know, there's nothing finer in public education than seeing a kid that you knew was sick get off the bus, a nonverbal kid that you knew was sick, get off the bus with a big ass candy cane because you knew mom juiced him up on Robitussin and wished him good luck. And then days later, you're the dumb asshole that gets strep throat and then pneumonia because mom kept sending her kid home. So yeah, I do not miss that. So
he's verbal, but he's on the spectrum for sure. And I was like, the next day after we had our practice and they were like, oh, he has a throat infection and an ear infection. I was like, so when is mine coming?
Yeah, like, you know, you get in the public school system, you get sick days off, but it's like, come on, man, like those aren't. Yeah, thanks. Anywho, let's see. I'm not going to dwell too much on that tonight. There's been a lot of cool things happening, and I don't feel like dwelling on that. So let's see who already popped in the chat. Hey, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. Well, you know.
We missed you too.
Yeah, dude. Welcome back. Yeah, like
Dylan gets to pick the wheel. He gets to pick what goes in the wheel since he's here.
Oh, no shit. Well, there you go.
Dylan doesn't know the new deal for the wheel. Can I mention it? Can I say it?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Okay, so for the new year, we have our color wheel every year, right? Well, this year, homegirl could not find a damn color wheel. And I went to looking, and I was looking, and I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I was like, well, how do we fix this solution? What you do is you buy a different kind of limited edition set,
there you go.
And you just replace the colors in the wheel. So unlike this wheel, which actually had a lot of I'm going to take black out of it. That's number one. I'm going to leave that mystery thingy in there because then we could have whoever watches maybe pick the color with that.
Oh, that's cool.
If it lands on the question mark. But with this set that I got, there's neons, there's metallics, there's a whole bunch of shit in there. So, Dylan, pick the first color.
What do you mean? Oh, you know what you should do is you should let them pick the word on, or like.
Oh yeah, pick a word.
Replace I mean, you're putting them back in the spinner, right?
Yes. I'm putting
All right,
new
so-
colors in the spinner.
So new colors in the spinner, and what we'll do is by the time you get those arranged, we'll go to spinning the wheel, and then we'll let Dylan pick the word.
Should I put all metallic, or should I put all of the
You do, dude.
Okay.
Like, I did discover this during this break, though. I was kind of annoyed with it, like that one of my lines of metallic paints. Finally kind of gave up the ghost to where I'm never going to put those in my airbrush. I think that so like my metallic paints stay in the basement because I only airbrush with them because especially the color shift paints, they look like garbage if you paint them on with the brush. So they're yeah, they look, they can be made to look okay, but even the okay, my standard of okay, I think looks like garbage. Other people would think like, oh, it's fine, etc. But I just think like it looks like garbage. So they're airbrush only.
If okay for you is not.
Yeah, my okay may be somebody else's. That's great, but and my okay may be somebody else's garbage. So like that's fine. But my level of okay.
But that's all that matters is what yours is.
Well, for this application, yes. Why do this when I'm hungover? Because it's anyway, so yeah, so
no one wants to hear you.
But the temperature fluctuates in my basement and never gets, I don't know how cold it gets. It doesn't get to freezing, right? And acrylic paints don't like to be in freezing temperature because they'll get lumpy and clumpy and they'll rubberize and you can't save them from that. But these have gotten like stupid lumpy, and so like with all the lumps in it, I don't feel like straining them to try and run them through an airbrush. So they're pretty much like they've been deposed to other techniques that will not involve being atomized. And but it's like 15-20 bottles of paints. So I'm fairly annoyed, but at the same time I was using these to use them up, and I wasn't going to buy them again. It's like $75 worth of paints. And so yeah, so yeah, and I have every color in the color wheel in this, and so it's like, all right, well, they just get to be regulated to other things. But like, hey, so I have a shop dog tonight because I am watching Puka, and Alicia went up to her folks' place with Munin, so somebody might be a little whiny that he doesn't want to be upstairs. And I'm not picking him up tonight. He didn't get to go because he would have full access to the snowy fields and everything, and because he doesn't go tethered there. And we hurt our leg earlier this week to where 3 o'clock in the morning we're just crying, and so we are on.
Oh, sweet baby.
Yeah, so we're on light use or restricted duties. So that means he gets to hang out with me. He can be bored to hell here, but we're also doing some training while we're here and just having one-on-one time. But right now we're like, I don't want to be upstairs, and I don't want to
be with Dad.
I don't want to be upstairs. I don't want, and I've locked. And upstairs has the bedrooms and the studio, and I've closed the doors to both bedrooms, so he is relegated to the landing, the bathroom, and my studio. And right now, this is the look. Come on, man! I don't want to do anything.
He's looking at you straight up like my cat just keeps sneezing.
Come on, man! I don't want to do this. Yeah, I'm not.
You turned the camera and the cat sneezed. It's like as if she saw a dog and was like,
"You're like, come on! I don't want to do this." Okay, go lay down.
Yeah, go lay down.
Oh yeah. No, we're just gonna stare and look at me. We already got a fancy treat for coming up here to be in the bed that we're learning to go lay down in. And now it's just like, I'm gonna stare at you like this. Anyway, all right. So let's see.
Pissy pants.
While you were doing that, you get to answer another question. What are you drinking tonight?
Oh, I just have iced tea with me and water
Just
because
Ice tea.
I'm still trying to get all that phlegmy yumminess out of my throat. I did have a shot of an inhaler before I came on live, so I am living the high life right now, man.
That depends on which inhaler I use. Woo.
Not that
Like-
one. No, I don't get the good. I don't get the one that makes me feel woozy. Sons of bitches.
Well, like also. Oh yeah, that's Mars. Anyway, yeah. So like I'm an asthmatic, and I don't like using inhalers. So for the past up until like 2 years ago, I would take my asthma medication orally. You get it in pill form, and I had my first hot toddy last night. Delicious. I don't know what's in a hot toddy. So if you put it in the comments, and I'll figure it out. Like
I think it's like tea and whiskey.
yeah, good boy. So yeah, they used to, so like it got discontinued years ago, but yeah, albuterol used to be able to come in pill form,
Damn, I used to have albuterol when I was a child.
and yeah, that's awesome. All right, please go sit down.
I grew out of my asthma, and then
Sit.
the death children try to murder me.
Well, there you go. Yeah, but nowadays, I mean, my asthma has been pretty much under control the vast majority of my life, right? You're that good.
That
my
was him
asthma's-
saying liar.
He's just like, excuse me, you're boring.
He
the fuck out of
literally-
me."
He
That's what
literally
he
heard
said.
you start saying that. Liar.
Bullshit. He's just bored. No, my asthma's been, like 1 or 2 asthma attacks a year, and that's pretty cool, right? And yeah, but cats will set it off. All right, 3/4 cup water, ounce whiskey, honey. Oh, dude, that sounds perfect. Dude, that sounds rad. I just like at my last fair I got this hot honey that we've been kind of just waiting around. Hey, buddy.
I love hot honey.
And yeah, it turns out like one of our go-to plate definitely needed a hot drink walking in the snow all night. Oh, yeah.
No, don't talk, Dylan, please.
One of our go-to pizza places has a hot honey pizza that's got their honey sauce on it, pepperoni and jalapenos, and I love it. And so I'm by this alpaca. Hey, I'm by this alpaca place. My neighbor is my neighbor, booth neighbor, was selling products from their alpaca farm, like just skeins of yarn and hats and mittens and scarves knitted out of alpaca wool. And she brought in their honey that they also make, or they grow, grow on land. And I was like, oh yeah, I love getting pizza from this place with this. And she's like, oh, we're their vendor. I'm like, well, there you go. Then there should be no.
It all works out.
Please go lay down.
Dylan, I'm never taking him there because
Rico has hot honey
Ew.
pizza. Cold pizza.
I'm never taking
Oh.
him there because I'm not a fan of Rico's. You will never convince me that I should be.
There's. All right, let's see.
Maybe someday I might change my mind, but that's not going to be happening in the future. Also, Dylan, you tend to forget he lives in Minnesota.
So,
When are you coming up to Connecticut for me to give you pizza?
well, you never know. Same as Colony.
I know
You never
enough.
know. You never know. I just applied for
Don't start that shit. It's the same as Colony, please.
Collected Con for August. A couple
I
days
thought it
ago.
was April.
That's what I thought. And then I looked at the website and it says August. So
I like that better.
so either their website is messed up or yeah, but yeah, it said August.
If it's
So I'm
August,
like,
I like that better.
so yeah, that's um yeah, and that's cool. And then like I already got yeah, one of the nice things about the last event that I did was you had people from various um, events or just businesses, and they're kind of like they're shopping around to see like what artists they may want to recruit or what vendor may be a fit for their business or and vice versa. So at at the Mary Market had this couple that was promoting their Crypticon for Minnesota, and like he gave me 2 cards, and just they're like, "Oh, you should email so and so and see about getting in because you'll be a perfect fit." And so yeah, I ended up getting a 6x6,
Ooh.
which is just a table, and it's costing me $175 for a local uh, two-day horror convention. So should be pretty good in September. And September's typically a slow time. So hello.
Not shabby. Not too
Yes.
shabby.
Thank you. Yeah, so 2 events. Hopefully there's 15 more throughout the year. And then like 5 events applied for. So yeah, maybe half my year's already figured out.
Okay, I'd be happy if that were me.
And yeah, and I don't know. Like I haven't started like hitting the summer events hard yet. But there's like I need to apply to be this like to join. Um, let's see what the hell is it called? The Northeast Minneapolis Arts Association, because they do like 2 or 3 events a year. Where once you join that they have an artist studio crawl. They do like once or twice a year, and you have to be in the region. And if you don't live at like the regional studio areas, they try and match you up with artists that will rent you out like a small space. So that's kind of nice. Hi, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And let's see. I just signed up to be paired up on the Make-A-Wish Foundation again, so I get to see that all in place.
You loved that last year. That was so good with you.
I did. I enjoyed it. Like I like teaching. And yeah, and it's cool to just be able to teach on a one-on-one, and get to. I don't say you don't get to pick your class, but there's a process, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's right. All right, so see as Nicole still shuffles around and makes clicks and clacks and all that other.
Sorry.
That's fine. We're gonna do a little. We played a little catch up. We're just gonna do a little housekeeping for this. Sit down. Thank you. Eventually you'll get bored and lay down.
My dumbass is sitting here trying to like go, oh, we need one in every slot that matched like the same size as the other one. Bitch, no, you don't.
Nope.
Like why?
You've just made it more work by creating rules as you go along.
I created rules for my own game. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
All right. So here we do have a little bit of housekeeping as we entered into 2024. Can you believe it? Next week is going to be the only Saturday broadcast for January, and that'll be at 8:00 as our normal time. So yeah, so
9 p.m. EST, because everybody who's watching right now who's in here is EST.
Yeah, but I'm the moderator, so we're on God's time.
Correct, but Dylan's a little.
He's got his notifications set.
I just wanted him to hear me call him slow.
Nope. We're not going to insult we're not going to insult audience members. So yeah, so the second Saturday, next Saturday is the only Saturday broadcast, and then the first and third are on Sundays. They will be 7:00 Central Standard Time. So yes, no, we don't use that word here either.
No. Yeah, that's a no.
Only when we need to deal with mediums that slow paint down. What the hell is
that's a no word in this house.
We don't use that word. So let's see. That's all the announcements I've really got.
I think I did.
Show, and yeah, that's it.
I think I did it, everyone.
So then let's see. So for the rest of the night, we will discuss projects we made. We'll discuss the color wheel, things we listened to, the challenge that was thrown down. And I want to say, I just, before we get to the weekly background sound, I will point out that last time I talked about the Daily Show and all the guests, I was pretty harsh about like who was funny and who was not, and I totally forgot that Kal Penn was also one of the guests, and he was fucking hilarious too. And so, like, I had no idea. Like,
because they were redoing this, they were redoing episodes.
They were redoing their whole lineup, with the exception of like Roy Wood Jr. And yeah. So
they didn't do Roy, right?
No. So Roy Wood Jr. got his first. Did it once before the writer's strike, and then like he's quit. He quit the Daily Show.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. He apparently during the writer's strike decided that he was going to move on from the Daily Show because of all the uncertainty. So
you know what? I don't blame him though.
I don't blame him, but man, there's 1 week. Robert Downey, what?
Oh, at the Globes!
Dude, come on.
For Oppenheimer? Sorry, him and I watched Oppenheimer together. He knew I needed to know that. So thank you very much, Dylan. I appreciate you very much for that.
So, yeah. So sometime in 2023, we had this glorious week where we had Kimmel, Myers, Colbert all on, and Roy Wood Jr. did 4 days of the Daily Show, and it was a wonderful week. And yeah.
That was a really good week.
Okay.
I was rewatching a lot of, not a lot, I shouldn't say a lot of them, but I was rewatching when they had the special guests on and everything again, and I was watching what's her name? Leslie, like everybody
Leslie
was on there again. Yeah. I was like, and my dumbass is like, didn't this happen already? Like I was because I don't have live TV, so I'm like watching it like on my own time, and I'm like, I'm so confused. Like, wasn't she already on here? I made a wheel. I'm so proud of myself.
There you go. All right, so oh gosh.
I took black out because I feel like black is just stupid for us to keep putting in here.
All right. Well, you do that. I totally forgot a toy to bring up here.
Dylan, thanks for letting me know. I know. I know you can hear me. That would be like me like doing this. He can't see me, but that'd be like me doing this and be like, look, he can't see me doing this.
Come on, lay down.
Puka, Daddy's gonna beat your
Sick.
ass in a second.
I am not.
I know.
We're just like
that's what you tell your kids when you're mad at them. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
no way. We have decided that because Alicia's not home, and we're the only kid. We don't want to listen. We're going to let our Sharpay stubborn streak be as wide as possible. So he's in protest mode, and we're trying to be a good boy. So like, he gets a bath tomorrow, and I've been telling him, he's like, all the towels and everything are out. Shampoo came in yesterday.
All right,
You're
Dylan,
gonna
you gotta pick the new word now.
All right, what are the word options?
There are no options. I'm just using the same thing as before, and I'm just going to put a new word.
Yeah, but doesn't that
this is empty? This is empty now, and I refilled it with new things. So I'll just put a new word somewhere.
Oh, I thought it already had words on it.
No, this one didn't have it. I had to write robot on this one.
Okay, well, there you go.
Next year, or what?
Welcome to the All Pro Hour.
What I could do is I could go in my other room, get the Sharpie wheel from 2 years ago that had words on it.
No, dude.
Yeah, see, this one's here. Just fucking let me do it this way.
Figure out a system quick.
It is. Dylan, give me a word.
What kind of word are you choosing, Dylan? All right, Dylan, you get to pick a word.
Stupid.
Make it kid friendly.
And it could be Logan friendly.
Make it kid friendly.
So Logan's his niece that said fuck like 3 times. Or she said shit or something like that. And when I was making Taylor Swift bracelets,
please make it kid friendly.
Yes. While I've been sick and making Taylor Swift bracelets, I sent him a picture of this one that says vigilante shit, and I was like, "Look, it's for your niece." She reminds me a lot of me. Like when I was little, I often, when he tells me stories, I go, "That's a me move." Oh, that's what she said. You're acting like a fucking child. She is 4. She told her older sister, you are acting like a fucking child. Sorry. Okay, Dylan, pick a word. Should it be hangover? All right, what have you been doing lately, Rick, while he thinks that wolf? Okay, wolf is the word, I guess.
Fine. Wolf. First thing that popped in his head. All right.
Wolf. Boom.
What have I been doing lately? Everything.
Should I spin it now?
No. We're going to wait till we get to the part.
Okay. Sorry. I'm practicing the spinning to make sure it actually spins too. Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. Please sit down.
Amateur hour, motherfucker.
Thank you. What a good boy. Yeah, they see you. All right. So, what have you been doing lately, Nicole, besides trying to get reinvent the wheel?
And dying. So, besides dying and reinventing the wheel, yeah, I was dying. That was fun. Fun times at band camp. So for my challenge,
oh yeah.
I tried to do too much because that's me.
So you didn't listen. You didn't do the challenge.
No, I did. So hear me out. I tried to do too much though because I kept going. So now you're gonna hear me out. Thank you.
Did you finish the first project?
I finished one of the 3 things that I set myself to do.
Then you didn't do too much.
Henceforth why, but I said for me too much. So anyways, this bitch over here, she finished something from when we started Paint Club. So what I wanted to do, this is how my brain went. I had 3 things in my mind. learn my pressure pot, Jesus Christ, learn my 3D printer, finish something from last year, and finish something from years ago. So I finished what I finished was, I don't know if you remember it, the Luna.
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing you.
Okay.
So I finished my Luna from 2020 when we started this podcast. Her crystals are in a bath right now because apparently I did not know how to copper plate. So that is how this is the finishing. I had to try and 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 try. And that was not fun, but her crystals are copper plated. So she, in my mind, she is done because all I got to do is clean out the bath now and hang it from here. And she's officially finished. The Mad Hatter Raw Man that has the pistachio color that we did for our color of the month. Mm-hmm. I don't know where the fuck it went when I put my tree up. Okay. I got it done. So I guess I finished two things. I got it done, and now I don't know where it is. Like it was I was doing it in the living room. I moved like everything out. I put the tree up because like that I was piping the mixture for frosting on top of like not frosting, but like whipped cream in its tea part of its head because I made like the head like tea. So I piped the frosting, which was like mixed with modeling paste, like heavy modeling paste, heavy light gel, and what was the other thing that I threw in there? Gloss medium? I think it was gloss medium. And I piped it on. I put the sprinkles on it. I put it somewhere to set the tree up, and now I can't find it, and it's making me insane. like you should have seen me when I got home today. I was like, where the fuck is this thing? And this happened last year. This is why I didn't get done last year, because I couldn't find it. So I'm praying to God for next week that I will be able to be like, look, here's part 2, pistachio. And I want to say I am 85% comfortable with my machine. I'm not 100.
Well, what machine?
My 3D printer.
Ah, did you get anything printed?
It was not a success. I lost the leveling paper that it comes with. And I guess that was problematic. And I should have realized that probably was going to be problematic. But it they're sending me another leveling paper, Igloo, however the fuck you say it. Elegoo, thank you. Elegoo sending me another leveling paper, so I'll be able to re-level the platings and everything like that. But like I know how to run it, which was like I think in my mind the most daunting part of it. I was like, I'm not gonna know how to do this. And it okay. I mean, you press the buttons and it fucking does it itself. Why on earth was I so scared of that? But like when it's not level, the shit ain't level. And like the building plate will be. It was like this, like because they send you or they have a test on the USB drive that comes. There's a test and it's like a checker piece.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know words for checker pieces. I don't know which one it is. I think it's a rook. And it was just like this. Like if here's the base, it was just like off center. So I was like, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I don't have the leveling like paper. And it literally is the dumbest thing because my ass was like, okay, leveling paper, from what I remember, was just a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a certain cardstock thickness. So I was using my cardstock thinking like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. No.
Why not?
Because it wasn't the right cardstock thickness. So I just asked them to send me a new one and they did it. I'm not going to.
Okay.
So my brain of panic was like, you know what? Instead of being frustrated and trying to like use every single piece of paper because I have like multiple like thicknesses. Instead of keep trying, keep wasting, because you have to clear out the stuff. You have to clean off the thing. You have to clean out everything. You have to scrape the plate down. Like, it's so much. And now I understand why when people like have the fails, they're so pissed.
Mhm.
It's such a waste. So, but I'm a lot happier
Okay.
knowing that I tried. I'm a lot happier knowing that I didn't like quit on it, and I'm a lot happier knowing that I know what went wrong and how to fix it. And instead of like how my brain usually is, which is like, oh, it went wrong, I'm not touching this for 5 years. Like, and this, but the same thing with the copper plating. It's like I initially with soldering, I did like what years ago. I don't anybody who did watch this 3 years ago. Years ago, I was going to solder the crystals on this, and I tried to learn how to solder crystals properly, like with the copper tape, with the paint stuff that like goes on it, and like all that shit. And for the life of me, I couldn't get it right. So I just stopped. I stopped trying. I gave up on it, and in my mind, that was how I took the challenge. Was what were things that I gave up on for myself in terms of art, and how far can I get with it, and not quit, and not be like, this was too hard. Like keep. And I like, because at first when I looked at this too, I was like, the blending on it like was not as good as I thought it was. Like it looked great when we like did the video years ago, and like because I actually watched the video when I picked it up, I was like, oh yeah, like let me see like what did it look like then? And I remember like on that camera, it looked like it blended so well, but when you looked at it in person, I was like, it's not as good. And like here it's kind of funny because it looks more like there's lines, but when you look at it in person, it's a lot better. It's funny like the way that the cameras are, like the differences of the camera, because I think I had my phone last time, and it's like if you looked at it this up close, you'd be like, oh yeah, there's like the blending's different, and to me it's better. And I was like, it's just crazy. Like I don't know. I enjoyed telling myself to not don't stop saying fuck this from Howard, because I have a bag of things that like I've started and never finished, and like that was what we talked about when we did this challenge. And I have tons of things from even when we started Paint Club, but then I was like, this was like I think the first show what we made challenge, that one, this like specific thing that I did. And I was like, and then B, I gave up on part of it because in my mind, it was too hard. Versus, like, I have this, and this. And like, oh yeah, I'll come back to it eventually. Like I have, that bag of stuff is like stuff, not that I was like, oh, this is too hard. I just wasn't feeling it. I wanted to pick the things that I like quit on.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like where I was like, I'm not doing this because it's too hard, versus I'm not doing this because I'm not in the mood for it. Because I know, like, I'll go back to those things, and this year I'm really, I told you.
And this is what happens. All right. See what you did? You did this, mister. You did this. Hang your head in shame.
I don't know why it does that. Like, why it's green and then it's like, okay, bye.
Well, 3 strikes and we're out. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's Uno. I'm just not gonna click the mouse. I'm just gonna like tap it every so often, because I think that's what happens. Like when I click it to like make it like come back, it's like, yeah. So this year, besides being my chill girl era for art, I want to like do a lot of the things that like I thought was too hard or impossible, or like like this is too much. Like the things that are really easy to just do for yourself, or like, okay, it didn't work the first time. You took bitch, you took fucking 3.5 years off. Why on earth did you let that happen? Like that kind of, like that, the printer, for the love of God. I put, I moved the new desk in. Everything was all in there. Everything's all great. It's sturdy. And I'm like, why am I so scared of touching things that I own? And then, you know what clicked in the most of that, which you're gonna laugh so hard at. So people that
Was
make
that
those
Mike or
little...
your neighbor coughing?
No one's coughing.
Okay. All right.
It's like, I don't hear anything.
All right, dude. Sorry, I did not mean to distract you.
So the people that are in like the mini groups or whatever, that like I do those, or I should even say, there are people who like trade these little things that I make, those like little resin stuff. People in there are like, who can 3D print these shelves? Who could 3D print? But and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I have it right there. Like, there's so many services. Like, I could, if I was just not scared to press start. And it's like, that's like the wildest shit. It's on a fucking flash drive that goes from computer to machine. And you leave. And I'm just like, that's why when you messaged me and you were like, accountability check-in, I was just like, I can't wait to tell him.
Very good.
Can't wait to tell him how dumb I felt. Like not like self-deprecation dumb, but like, one of those like, this is so dumb of me. Like I could have like now we're here. Now we're gonna make it work. And you know what's really funny? What did we teach at my fucking school today? Because of Jesus, we taught Epiphany.
Oh, there you go.
That's why I'm wearing stars. And we taught what epiphanies were too. And it just before we move on, because we are you, me, and Dylan are children of Bob's. When the main teacher went downstairs to get something, I was like, what do you think the wise men's names were? Because they actually had names. And this girl goes, they were a mystery. And I was like, in my head, like, they weren't, but okay. And so I said to her, like, okay, if you could name them, what would you name them? She goes, Bob. Wait, what was it? Bob, Duke, and Allen, I think, or something like that. And I was like, my dad's name is Robert Allen. That is hilarious. Like Bob, Duke, and Allen. I was like, Duke. So on her Epiphany cross, because like you were supposed to write like, we taught what epiphanies were or whatever. So first of all, it's the Star of David. But on this, her ass wrote Bob, Duke, and the 4 fucking on one of each of the triangles. And when the teacher came upstairs, she was like, why did she write Bob, Duke, and Allen? And I was like, because that's what she named the right names. I was like, she named the wise men, bro. And she was like, they have names. I'm like, she says it's a mystery and that their names are Bob, Duke, and Allen. Don't question the 8-year-old, man.
This is what you call a teachable moment. All right, so I have a question for you since we're now in religious art.
Oh, yay.
Sort of. All right, Adam and Eve, first people in that mythology, right?
Sure. Yeah.
There's tons of paintings of them for the past 500 years. Okay.
Yes.
Why do they have belly buttons?
Because when she came from the rib, the belly button came out.
I'll let that sink. I'll let that go.
Well, you know where I stand on all that, but if
Why
I
do they have
had
belly
to
buttons?
if I had to explain that to a child, like if someone said to me,
No, dude, I want it explained to me. I want to fucking know why Adam and Eve are portrayed with belly buttons.
This is what I would tell kids. This is what I would tell kids. So this is what I'll tell you. People didn't witness Adam and Eve, so they did it based on what we know of human anatomy today.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
No.
Nope, that is a piss poor answer.
It is a piss poor answer, but I'm saying if a kid came up to me and said, "Artist teacher Nicole, why is Adam and Eve got belly buttons?" That would be my artist teacher answer. If I had to be real Nicole answer, my ass would say shit like, "That's because that ain't real, girl. The fuck? No one comes from a rib cage." I taught a child about decapitation today, and I was like, "Okay, we're done. Like, we're done." She told me a ghost story, so I told her one that had decapitation, and I was like, "All right, maybe I shouldn't be a teacher."
Maybe you just need to figure out what teacher Nicole is going to determine is safe for work. The more you know.
This is the same girl who asked me what a cocktail was, and I was like, I don't know.
There you go. Yeah,
and who wrote me that letter that said, like, come to my house or else. And I was like,
all right. Whoops. There you go. All right. So I'm going to share one of the big project for the challenge tool. And there she is, because I don't feel like bringing her upstairs. So like she's down in the basement right now.
I love her.
So there we are. Last time we saw her 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We all know what color she were. And there we go. She were. So there's a close up of the face. Oops.
That's not the one that you gave Alicia, right?
No, I gave Alicia a dragon, dude.
That's right. Sorry. My brain is not braining.
So yeah, there's my challenge piece and all her glory. Very pleased with the way that came out. Just super stoked. And screen share. Like yeah, I was finished with that. It needs to be varnished. I did not feel like taking it out in the snow today. But I finished that right before.
It snowed here too.
What do you want to call it? Like, I finished it over a week ago. Love a good Medusa artwork. Thank you. Yeah, so I have one behind me up there that I was last night I was thinking maybe I should strip it down and redo it. No, that was last night's talking. So yeah, I have several shelved projects that, you know, by virtue of procrastination or just being like, ooh, the next shiny thing, you put off to the side, and that's what has happened. That's what happened with Medusa. That's what happened with a lot of things for me. I am a product of my father's procrastination and his teachings. So yeah, I have probably still half a dozen projects that have been started or started one way, shape, or form, and it's like time to go. So then the other project I had that I wasn't able to take pictures because, please sit down. Thank you. So projects that I haven't been able to take pictures of this because Medusa is occupying my photo booth. Actually, before I get to this, my photo booth area was on my to-do list because it was, and instead of like normally when you know you start a project and something happens, it's like the timelines in Loki. You just get a deviant branch, and you're all of a sudden you're going this way and that way instead of like doing your main timeline. And so instead of just creating all the branches, I let everything snowball into the next thing. So I did not touch my photo booth until it was time to actually like take pictures of the Medusa. So after the Medusa was done, I spent a day recreating my photo area with a 6 by 2 foot table, um, and some other things that crates from IKEA to create an elevated platform, um, a better background, better backing board so I could hang backdrop papers or fabric or things on, and that's a sizable. That's a good size because the Medusa is a bigger size. So the Medusa is 22 inches tall, so you have to have about 33 inches, 34 inches of. You need a 30% more of what that is in the background to be able to capture a decent background. So that backing board had to be at least about 3 feet. And so, yeah, just a much bigger sprawling area, but that allows me to do like stop motion and stuff down there. So it's very encompassing project. And the nice thing is I had almost all the material here. I didn't have to go anywhere to cut it. I didn't have to go anywhere. Like I had to make some cuts, but it was a handsaw. I was able to do it with a handsaw. Like I was able to put stuff together because I had hinges and all the hardware here. I didn't have to go anywhere. Not that the weather, and it was more along the lines of I just didn't want to leave the house. The weather has been cooperating up until 3 days ago to where I could go anywhere, anytime. But yeah, so I let the Medusa go butt right up against the photo area, which is why I was able to get some decent pictures of it. And yeah, very pleased about just letting it flow into each other. And then I have two of these. I made.
There's no color of the month yet, Dave. Sorry.
Thank you. Hey, Dave, what's going on? Happy New Year. So the coin op Supa platform by Eric Scarecrowski. Yeah, so this has been a platform that's 15 years old, and I just realized how old it was because like this is the old school version that's like 8-9 inches tall, and Eric is now releasing a 6-inch version for like $20, $22. It's his 15th anniversary piece on it, and I was like, cosmic coincidence that I happen to make my Gonk droid. So Gonk droids in Star Wars are the droids that look like they were made with two Rubbermaid totes pushed together, and then like the most wonky accordion legs. And I decided I would make a Gonk droid out of the Supa arcade, and mission accomplished, right? And I went with a very simple color scheme, and I dig how it came out. And I was like, I loved how it came out so much that I was like, well, I didn't know what to do with the other one, so I just started kit bashing a second one. And like I've just been I took a lot of toy accessories or toy parts that I had, and I don't think I scratched the surface on what's in the bins, but I grabbed bins and I was like, okay, what looks good? What can I use to be as like just science fiction parts? The feet, the original feet on this thing, I do not care for. They're bulbous. They don't look like they belong to an arcade thing. So these feet came from a 3A toy. The legs came from another part or two other parts. I have a bunch of like broken Transformer toys by Loyal Subjects, which they don't transform. They're just like little stocky things. And I used a lot of.
They're so weird.
And yeah, and so I used a lot of parts off of those. Like this is a gun that I ended up adding to There are a couple laser cut parts on here just because I had them. But yeah, a lot of these are like the loyals. Like these are bodies. The back parts here are the bodies from the loyal subjects, and yeah, it just it's a simplified.
If you like using like parts from loyal subjects, I
Yeah.
will send you pictures. I have lots of Mega Man ones.
Oh, we'll see. We'll
Like
see.
like the arm blasters and
Okay.
gun, like yeah. I'll send
Cool.
you a picture
All right. Yeah, and so there's like a kid. There's
because
some kid
I don't
robot.
know what they go with.
There's some kid robot parts on this one that I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm like, and if your knowledge base on designer toys goes back 15 years, you could potentially see like where the parts came from. And then on the one I started building again, I was like, yeah, had some extra 3A parts. The 3A part went back into this screen. The feet work oddly well. They're from a Quicks toy, and I happen to have two of them, so they're like
Which
this little
one?
car, the Zeta. It ends up looking like a remarkably
That's
good.
a Zeta?
Yeah, that the cars are from the Zetas.
Look at that.
And yeah, and like here's the neat
Yeah.
secret. Like if you could look in here, like a lot of my stuff, it's pinned in, but I just drilled holes all the way through so I could super glue it, pin it in, and yeah, it's fun. So
Sneaky,
that one should be
sneaky.
that dude should be that one should be primed by tomorrow. So hopefully that. And then like I had this set of toys that I've been like messing with what color scheme to do with them or style. So I broke down and earlier today I based them all with this lavish chocolate brown and black. So they got a neat blend going from the black here all the way to this chocolate brown here. And the idea is, let's see if I can.
Is that
Excuse
Salvador
me.
on your shirt?
Oh yes, dude. And so the idea was to have those 5 toys look like Ralph Bakshi characters or a Ralph Bakshi style from like the 1970s Lord of the Rings. So like they're very dark and they have like very select highlight with their red glowing eyes. I really like this effect. It was a cool style that Ralph Bakshi used in multiple movies and like Wizards, Fire and Ice, and the Lord of the Rings. And even if you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, those animators use the opening animated sequence in the same style as Ralph Bakshi. It's like he's very influential, and I just thought it would be cool to make like a CanBot and a couple of tech pieces have that same like simplified effect of like very dark but with green outlines, red eyes, and see where it can go with that. So I have that set up. I was just like futzing around with the CanBot earlier today with that concept, and in order to do so, had to make one of these jobbers so I could figure out which colors I want to look well on black. Good boy. And yeah, and I grabbed like all of my darker greens so I could figure out like which one's going to have the best coverage on black. Fortunately, I had a piece of black mat. We need to undo that brainwashing. Okay. And yeah, and also seeing which colors are going to look good with just one coat. And then ultimately I was like, well, if I mix the colors, and this is like how we got to the last color choices, and 10 minutes to do this, and worth every second, just because like it's my reference guide, and I don't know now that I've picked the colors that I know that I'm going to be using. I have no idea what those colors actually are on there, but it was my quick reference guide for the moment. And yeah, super rad. So hopefully like this is a project that I imagine, because the painting style is going to be the same as the droid that I just finished, and I really enjoyed that methodology. So this is the same, but it's one of those ones where, you know, once you hit a groove and you've zoned out, it kind of paints itself. So yeah, sit down. Thank you. We're being a good boy. All right. So yeah, there
You know,
we go.
the first toy I ever bought at 5 Points, it was the first 5 Points, and it was Eric's Lady Liberty.
Oh yeah.
First thing I did, I walked in and I saw it right when I gave him my money for the ticket or whatever, and I remember exactly where it was too. It turned right and it was right there, and I was like, I need that. Because I have every Tokidoki, New York Comic Con, Liberty, like for years. My thing was like, I need the New York. I need the New York. It's slowed down a little bit because now everything is like an homage to the city, and I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Like I've applied for to be at the Sculpture Garden. There's an event at the Sculpture Garden in Minneapolis, and I've applied to be there. And of the 3 that I've applied that it's being run by Homespun Events, that's the one I really want to be at. And I was like, I'm going to make little tiny dioramas of the Sculpture Garden. And I'm like,
but that's cute.
But yeah, and I'm like, I want to make prints of my dioramas of the Sculpture Garden, and I'm like, and that's just like the Inception style that I like, and I have been doing more of for the past 2 years. So yeah, I want somebody to come into the booth and be like, oh look, there's that, and it's right there and there. And they can be like the two Spider-Men in the meme, and
have you seen Enter the Spider-Verse, the new one?
No.
There's a moment where like there's like 7,000 Spider-Men. They're all like,
and they're all
yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I wanted to see it in the theater.
You have to.
I think when
it's on Netflix.
It came out, we were all not able to go to the theater.
No, not that one. The new one.
No, what I am saying is when it came out, we were not able to go to the theater. Like as responsible people to the rest of society, we were not able to go.
Oh, because you had COVID. Got it. I thought you meant because there was COVID. I was like, yes. However, that's not the one I meant.
Right. And I really enjoyed the first one. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was like, why? Like once I saw it, I was like, why in the hell was I so hesitant to want to watch this? And I know why, because it's like, like
cartoon.
But as soon as I sat down, the opening credits started in, and they started like the first 5 minutes. I was like, why in the hell did I have any hangups on this? And it was amazing. And I've seen it. I've seen it a few times. I am annoyed that it's not on Disney Plus, but but
it's on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix. I have Amazon. I have Amazon. I have Disney Plus, and I have a free thing to YouTube right now, and that's it. There are some things I wanted to watch on Netflix when we were at my in-laws during Christmas, and instead I just sat down and just tuned. Like when we turned in for the night, not to 8:30, 9 o'clock, just says, all right, folks, it's been good. I'm going to go sit down. I'm going to go do other things. And so I would go down to the basement. Alicia would be sick and dying, and I took my own I brought my own activity pack with me that, I could work on while everybody else is doing their family things. But 8, 9 o'clock rolled around. I'm like, I just want to be fucking alone for a little while. And I brought a huge activity pack with me, and I finished 6 drawings with me when I was there. And I had no idea where I put them because they would be like, "Look what I did today!" I would be showing them off, but I can't remember where I put them.
Watch
They
their
just have
all
to.
like at her house, at like her.
They're they're one of the they're one of the 4 sketchbooks that I brought with me, and there's 2 downstairs. There's 2 over here, and I'm like, I don't feel like wandering around. Puka's finally settled down again, so like too much movement. He's gonna be like, "Are we ready to go?" Like, no, dude, we're not. So they can be for another time. That's fine, because it's also very rare that I grab, like, once I sketch out a drawing, I put it away and I never do anything with it again. So so
Really?
so this break has very much been cool about the idea of grabbing a dozen things or a dozen drawings to just bring them out and try and pump new life into them again. And so I have some drawings that I finally did some ink outline to. Some have watercolor, some have like some actually got completed, and it was like just a refreshing change of pace to be able to be like, okay, well, I can't take my toys with me to paint at my in-laws, so I have to figure out something else. So I had to make. So this was my drawing. This was my drawing tools for there. Everything I fit in something that's about the size of 2 VHS tapes. And yeah, and I had all my markers and pens and stuff in it, and that's what I used. And I was like, I like, one of the things that I like that I do is that I don't do digital, so I'm not anchored to my computer. I don't do anything on the iPad, so I'm never dependent on battery life, because I don't do Procreate. I have it, but I don't do Procreate. I don't do Illustrator on it. So like, I just do.
Do you just not want to?
I just don't want to. Yeah, it doesn't feel right. And from a dude who was raised in the 80s and 90s about how to protect yourself and how things should feel, this doesn't feel right. So it never has. So I know there are dudes who still make a living by doing pen and paper, and that's the dream. By me being one of those dudes, that's the only paperwork I like to do. All right. So yeah, but at the same time, I did just get like 2 new movie making apps for the iPad, so I can be doing films or short films, and that's fun because I think that's where I'm okay with the digital revolution, because I've made a movie with film before. It's a pain in the ass, and I never want to do it again. And digital's like, it's the amazing thing to be able to be like, even if like there's a lot of ways to correct it, or if you want to, you can do cool, fun things a lot easier now with the iPad and with the apps provided and with your phone and with your computer than you could 10 years ago, that you could 20 years ago. Yeah, that's where I have embraced digital, is in film, as in videos and filming. But to produce actual art, no, man, I still want to be a pencil and paper dude. So yeah. And plus, like up until about 2 years ago, only select people ever, like, sometimes I would share like partial drawings online or like doodles out of sketchbooks, but I don't show a lot of my finished drawings or a lot of the work in progress, because I guarantee you what I show online is a very small percentage. But as of last year, selling the doodles and the smaller drawings at events, like, I'm more comfortable and more happy to be able to share more and more. So that's also been a character development that is cool. Puka, where'd you go now? Ah, there you are. Hi, buddy. Yeah,
It's like, I'm getting sick of this shit.
So yeah, so it's been an interesting development. And plus, like, I've had like some characters just like in the back burner of my mind, and so don't say digital is better than film around quarantine. So like, if Art Clokey had digital, there'd be way more seasons of Gumby. So, but yeah, so
Trust me, Rick is not promoting digital anything. He only got a smartphone because his job at the time made him.
no, Verizon forced me. But Verizon also
somebody forced him.
Verizon forced me to not be one of their customers anymore either, because yeah, you're dealing with the kid who bites, kicks, scratches, and runs away, and the fucking thing drops your call 6 times as you're trying to get help. Nah. End of the day, we're done. I was so pissed. Yeah. So they're
clear
yeah.
or Sprint.
Dude, Ron Howard has made a movie off of an iPhone. So, dude knows what he's fucking doing.
What movie did he make off an iPhone?
A short film.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
from here.
He is he's notably made it. I know he's made a phone because he was Apple was happy to promote the idea that Academy Award winning director Ron Howard made a film with just an iPhone. So it's like you can do amazing things with it. And I understand where Quentin Tarantino is to film as to what I am to drawings, because I don't like to fucking do digital. So there you go. There's your connection. And yeah, so on that note, let's see. Oh, it's only been 8 o'clock. That's cool. So yeah, and then Steven is good. This I'm just looking through. Okay. Oh, you ever wax? So I have this. I have a question. Do you ever wax your pressure pot, Nicole?
Wax it?
Yeah. Like I was watching somebody's thing on somebody's in the world. So like I have an overrated. You're not overrated. Like, thank you. All right, so where am I going with this? I have YouTube Premium right now, and I really like it because I'm being what's the word I'm looking for? Blackmailed to not have commercials at the beginning or end of or in the middle of videos. So you do the trial time with YouTube so that you can see if premium is right for you. And because I do not like paying for commercials, or I do not like commercials, I am paying to not have them. So being blackmailed by YouTube, but because of that, I'm watching. I watch a shit ton of YouTube, even more than before. Well, that's all right, because sometimes I watch them while I'm painting here, or and vice versa, or they're vice versa because they're watching me. I just did a stream the other day, but anyway.
You never know. Pop Shop was watching Plastic Pizza once.
Oh, that's cool. So So somebody I was watching had mentioned the idea that they wax their pressure pot, and that allows for them to get all the resin out easy peasy. So they and that just acts as a barrier.
So I don't wax it, but like I have I've used like petroleum jelly to like line it before, so I guess that's the same thing. Or like I'll do like a mold, like I'll spray mold release in it sometimes. But for the most part, my pressure pot, since it's a converted one, I don't really care. But I know some people will put silicone mats on the bottom. Mine never has an overspill because I have because it has the divot or like that little like thing in the bottom. I have like a platform in a box thing for my thing to go in it. So if it ever does overspill, it goes into that like little box.
Catch. Okay.
Yeah. If I was to be like doing how like I know some people will stack their shit, like they'll stack like molds or whatever. If I did it like that, I probably would condition my like the metal better. I don't really need to. The only times like resin ever gets in there is like when it's like flaky coming off of it or whatever. Like if I'm like opening the thing and like pieces are falling off it and I have to dust it or something like that. But for the most part, I don't think I've ever had to scrape it down.
Okay. Look at this. Before we went live, I had to put resin in there to weigh it down and because these guys have nails going through to act as the pins, and they're suspended in about halfway through. So I just filled it in with the 5-minute resin so that I could just suspend it, and it adds bonus weight to keep it from tipping. And I was like, all right, I need to do this. And it's like I could heat up a hot glue gun and spin like, or I could just go downstairs, whip up a little bit of, and turns out I was like, oh, that's the last of my resin. Whatever I put in those little feet, that's all I have left.
I buy that resin because I know which one you're talking about. I buy that stuff, and I use it a lot for like backfilling 3D prints that people send that are hollow.
Oh, sure. I like it
because I am a strong proponent of stop fucking making hollow things.
No, dude, like from what I understand with your prints, like if you did a solid resin print, it'll never cure in the middle. So you hollow it out so it does get to cure, right? So like sure, you would fill it with epoxy or a resin and you'd tumble it around and it'd be great. But yeah, from what I understand, my very limited knowledge on 3D printing is that you make it thick enough and it'll never get cured. So you'll have a smelly print, or you'll have something that leaks on your shelf eventually.
Yeah.
So it's
that's why you can't have the walls. It's like you can't have. It depends on like the millimeters that you're putting it at.
Right, but it's going to have to be hollow, right?
I hate them.
I hate hollow prints. So yeah,
like my master is solid.
Okay.
My bully it's not hollow.
But it's really thin too, right? Like if your inner wall was like 1/4 of an inch thick, it would be all the way, like that would be all the way, right?
But the bullet's not. The bullet's like an inch and about an inch thick.
All right. Like
I don't know. I gotta ask the guy who printed that one for me.
Like okay.
And like Pebbles, my Pebbles prints that JFO did for me initially, those aren't hollow.
Okay.
And I have one that's like you saw that's like this big. I think it depends on like the resin. I think it depends on like a lot. That's why I'm learning that. Like I'm trying to learn as much as I can about it, like so I don't have those issues. But like I would never print I don't think I would print a Pebbles at like the 8 inches or whatever the fuck the volume is that my machine would let me solid. I think that would probably be irrational. I would do it, but I think like if it was solid, it would probably have that problem, like you said.
All right. Because like
I also think it's the resin. Like if it's clear, you should probably would have no.
My pop-ups at the 3 inches could not be solid printed. And yeah.
I don't know because
and this has been the end of this has been the
conclusion. Don't know enough.
This has been the conclusion of the segment, from what I understand.
Yeah, maybe I don't know enough because like
I don't. Like you actually have the thing. I just listen to people's theory on YouTube.
Sure, I listen to people too, and they do it.
See, so I want you to think about this.
I'm thinking maybe it has something to do with, or it could do with, like what color resin you're using too. So if you're using an opaque, like my masters that are like gray, if it was thicker, it probably would not work. But if it was like a clear, translucent one, I can't see how the UV curing machine wouldn't cure it. If it's translucent, like you might need to leave it in there for hours, but I can't. I'm
Well,
gonna,
glass.
I'm gonna come back next week with an update on this information.
You come back with all the answers. 6 days. You need to have answers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my list out, and I'm gonna be like,
there you go.
so
There's homework
with
for you.
the 3D print, you can.
There you go. There's your homework for the weekend. Go back, watch the show, see what questions, see who's got see how much, from what I understand, I actually understood, and yeah, that would be just fine. Yeah, like sometime next week I will be doing some filament printing, which I'm excited for because the
I have to
project is
send you a
going.
link to this girl that uses her leftover filament as like recycles them to make art. I'm gonna send it to you so you can like, I don't know, if you ever have leftover stuff from when you do it.
Oh, all right. Like I'm looking forward to being able to print something in the next week or two because like I've got something that layer lines will look rad on, and I'm pretty stoked about that. It's like intentional layer lines. So I'm pleased as punch about wanting to formulate that project or get that project to like start. So yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna start
Is this
I
at
was
the
like,
Makerspace?
yeah, they have
Okay.
so like they have three different types of they have resin printers too, but they have three different types of filament printers and three each type is different sizes, and I know how to use, in theory, I know how to use two of the three. And what they told us at the training class was, oh, the third one, once you're successful with these two, the information's on our wiki and you'll be able to figure it out. I'm like, oh great, I'll be able to figure it out. So like once I do, I may just like spend a day to have like all 2, 4, 6 machines be my own little print farm and just be like, hope nobody else has these wants to do anything.
What's your membership like cost there?
Too much.
What is it per month? Because
Yeah.
I drove past it and I didn't realize that we actually have a makerspace in my county, and it's not that far. It was my like friend's kid's birthday, and I drove past on the way back, and I was like, "That's
So
what that is?"
So begrudgingly, I say too much only because business is slow. But if I paid for 6 months in advance, it's like 300. It's less than $300. But if you're only paying month to month, it's like $60.
This
So-
was $50 a month, so I was, because I kept thinking like, is that
Oh,
a lot?
So depending on about how business is, I would say no, right? So like being
50%
able to
off
have
classes, 24 access to makerspace. I don't know.
hey Kevin, being able to have a spray booth in the dead of winter is really nice. All right. And after after December's business, I was like, cool, things might actually be picking up. But yeah, having a spray booth in the middle of winter is really nice. Having the late, like, I don't know what it would cost to have what a laser cutter would cost to have here.
A lot.
Even like, I don't know how much
Like
a glow
$4,000 to buy it.
like, so okay, so let's say it costs $5,000 just for ease of round numbers, right? So that's what, shoot, that's a few years worth of memberships. I don't the wiring in this house would not sustain a laser cutter because you would have to have exhaust for it too. And I know I would be shorting things out or blowing circuit breakers in this house. So, nor do I have the space to put that. So, the space and the wiring of this house says, no, I can't have a laser in here. So, that means I have to go elsewhere, which means, makerspace. Okay, fine. One of my buddies would argue the the libraries have some of the libraries have them. Yes, and then you're not paying. You're paying for a smaller price to use a laser cutter at the library. That is also way more access, so is more accessible to more people. So you are paying. You are also paying for that exclusivity. Exclusivity. But besides the spray booth and the laser cutter, there's the wood shop. I love the wood shop. I don't use as much of. There's my stigmata now. um, but yeah, the wood shop, it's great. They've changed enough things, tools out there to where now I feel like I should go back. Or I should go to another one of um, the wood shop introduction classes that they do, just to make sure everybody's up to speed on it, because they've replaced both table saws to where I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with them, and I don't want to be unfamiliar with them. They've also changed some of the sanding stations, so you go in to figure out, like, okay, what piece of the puzzle am I missing, because I don't want to find out. I don't want to. Yeah, the more you explore, the more you discover, and I do not I do not feel like exploring on my own. So
It says here that there's 3D printers, laser cutter, desktop CNC mill, vinyl cutter, soldering station, electronic prototyping area, hand tools, sewing machines, drill press, bandsaw, miter saw, woodworking hand tools, bench top mill, bench top lathe, and more.
sounds like mine.
And it says it's open 24 hours.
Yeah, sounds
Wait,
like mine.
That's confusing. Open to everyone every night, Tuesday night. Oh, because it's open to open nights are that night. I get it.
Open
like,
house, so you can go in and see what you're doing, and go in to see if it's the right fit for you.
So it's every
Chances
Tuesday at 6.
Chances are, if it's like mine, that's their open house. You walk in and be like, and some member will be like, "Hey, you are new, and do you want a tour?" And then they will be happy to just that, because that's what we do at our shop, is like on Wednesdays when you have people. That's the social hour, or social day, and people come in so they can take the tour, and people can see, and members just give the tours of what they know, and what the whole rigmarole. And there's like our basement area now has a potential screen printing area, and
I just there's one in Westchester, because that's technically closer.
So yeah, like the apparently the screen print, they've been dreaming of making a screen printing area for a couple years, and it's like, last time I was there, I went into the basement just to see if it looks like any progress has been made, and it looks like they are, and so it's like, cool. Once that gets up and running, I'm going to be spending a lot more time probably there, like screen printing some badass stuff.
I'd like to see the screen printing.
I have a whole closet full of them over there.
What am I doing to the star of your middle name? Okay, well, so this was funny for me today when I was teaching the kids that this is what they call the Epiphany Star, and I was like, the Star of David? I thought I wasn't allowed to teach about the Jews. I thought I wasn't supposed to have my dreidel out.
Oh.
I just glued mine down to the other, like, while we were here, because I didn't have mine glued down from earlier, so I glued mine down. That's the only reason why I had it above my eye like this. It's got to go away with the menorah. It's not the time of year anymore.
Anymore.
So you made it out of clay. I am never going to get over Smokey Robinson when he had a cameo. He didn't say Hanukkah. He said Chanukah. He said happy Chanukah. And he's like, I don't know what that word means, but a happy Chanukah to you, to whoever the person was. And to this, it is to this day, like I shared it. So, and like all Hanukkah, me and my friend Brian, like the whole time, who's been trying to teach me the prayers and everything, Brian and I would say Happy Chanukah to you too. Happy Chanukah Day 5.
Come on, man. You invited a dude. They invited a dude who's not part of the culture in there.
And they spelled it with a C when they sent the fucking note.
They didn't prep him, and he looked it up on. He saw it on a cue card, and he read it as he said it as he read it.
He didn't read
That's
it.
not dishonorable.
They sent him the wrong spelling for someone who don't know how to say it.
It's
been like 3 years, and I think he like came out like this year. Like every time it comes out, like the video again, he always laughs. He laughs about it. Like he loves it, and. Like it just gets it tickles my fancy every year to hear Happy Chanukah from Smokey Robinson.
There's a Star Trek meme out there that has a Klingon that says mispronouncing words that you've read is not dishonorable. It means you read it somewhere.
See? Chanukah motherfucker.
And it's like, come on, you gotta give somebody credit just for like, all right, I'm making it up on the Chanukah.
Tickles your ones.
I'm like, okay, so
not my fanny, my fancy.
Sometimes at home, I will mispronounce words on purpose because it is the one tease that I do that it's like it gets Alicia it gets Alicia's goat well. So
that probably drives her fucking insane.
It can. And I don't do it often, but when I do.
I don't know much about her, but that's like one thing I know from what you've told me is grammar is like. You know the word irregardless that doesn't exist? I love doing that one.
So we watched this documentary on Yosemite. And as she's looking at it, I'm gonna go, oh, Yosemite. And she's just like, no, sir. Like, you didn't
I could hear her. I could see her eyes like looking at you like the fuck.
No, sir. You know what that is. I'm like, yeah. It's just like
like there was no getting away with that shit. She's looking at you like
Yosemite.
Don't even.
Yeah.
Don't even.
Oh yeah, fun stuff. So, yeah,
oh my god! I think I'm gonna say anything that has "ite" at the end of it like that. I'm gonna say it like "imity" or "itty" now, like like all the crystals, like selenite. I'm gonna say "celity."
Well, there you go.
Well, that's I don't know. You've never seen one of those things where it's like you say like mother, brother, other, or whatever, and then like something that has like the same thing at the end sounds completely different, and you're supposed to say it like or like tamale, or oh god, what was it? It was tamale. Fuck, now after it's not funny anymore because I can't remember it. But it was some Spanish like thing where it was like say 'em all, but the way that like you would say the first one, and it just was so stupid.
Right.
So stupid. Yosemite. I hate you. Yosemite.
She was not pleased.
She probably hated your ass too, right then too. Like
she was not pleased with that. It was funny. It's not funny. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Next time I see her, I'm gonna call her a Yosemite.
Well, there you go.
That's the new religion, Yosemites.
We're gonna have the duke it out of the battle of the 5'3" queens and see who wins.
5'3", motherfucker! I'm 4'10". Where do you get 5'3"?
Oh, never mind.
My sister is 5'3".
Well, good luck. She's gonna flatten you.
I'll ankle sweep her.
All right.
We're little nippy things.
All right. So let's see. It is almost 9 o'clock. All right. So we're gonna wind it down. It is Sunday, and everybody gets to go to bed early. And yeah. So
I have a doctor in the morning. I forgot. I was supposed to like work, or every Monday now I'm supposed to like be at the nursery when they. So okay, this is to me this is funny. Oh no, that piece is the piece, Dylan, that I said I can't find from when I put the tree up. Because that was one of the pieces I finished was because of Dylan, and now next week because the tree's coming down. It was supposed to come down today. It did not come down today. I was tired. So next week I will have that up there, and you'll be like, "Oh shit!" Anyways, and it would have been great for tonight because of Robert. Damn it, winning his golden.
Yeah, and Duke.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, and because of Duke. We like I guess now the yoga class I used to take, I'm now like nannying the kids, and I was like, okay, well I guess I'm not taking yoga. So I was supposed to go tomorrow and like teach, and all of a sudden I got like one of those automated calls that's like, please do not forget your doctor's appointment tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I was like, what doctor's appointment? And I like look in my app because like I never keep in my calendar because it's literally in an app that has like all of them listed, and it's not even there. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna work with the kids tomorrow, and we're gonna see if I need another surgery on my foot.
No.
So let's all pray for me in
Well,
Jesus' name, amen.
All right, so Nicole, tell all the good people.
No, Wolf.
Wolf? What do you mean, Wolf? Oh, see what you did there? All right, so we need a new color of the month. Good thing Nicole's been clutching that for dear life. All right, Nicole, give her a spin and see where we go. See what we win. Looks like we got a red orange.
I'm opening them now since it's not like in its own. It's in its own. Since I made it up, now I'm going to open them and just take out the color. It is neon orange.
Oh, very cool. Oh, wow.
Neon orange, because that's going to be very hard for Rick and his
incessant robot right.
Neon orange.
I got a robot right over there that's going to get neon orange.
Neon orange.
I got 5 things over there that are going to get red orange eyes. I got
literally like when I put the neons in here, knowing you, I put them in there, and I was just like, that was a must in my opinion, especially when I got that kit. That's why I added the metallics for sure, because I was like, oh, that's a little different for us. Like, you know, yeah, we both work with metallics, but not like to the extent that you work with your UV colors. You know, that's a Rick thing. If people ever said like, you know, what's a Rick signature, I'd be like, does it UV? That's a Rick signature.
The Medusa does not. Not one neon color. It
doesn't?
Not one
color. It
color.
looks like it does.
Not one color, because so yeah, I chose not to go. I chose not to go that route with it. No, I had some technical issues with my airbrush that I was not able to remedy when I was painting it. So I said, well, I can either wait 2 days and get some retarding agent or retarding fluid for the airbrush, or I could just not do it. So I decided not to. I decided not to spend the 2 days waiting, and just said, fuck it, I'm finishing it this way. Oh yeah.
Look at you.
Plus also sometime this week, earlier in the week, I finally did a breakdown and cleaning of the Amazon Master airbrush. The Amazon airbrush, the Amazon brand Master, is what I would give a D minus grade for an airbrush, but I would give a B plus for accessibility when you absolutely need one. But I ended up doing a live stream where I broke it down, cleaned it, and then well, I was like, well, I've got everything out and I'm doing this, I might as well clean the other one too. So I made an hour-long stream into 2.5 hours.
Amen.
But like one of the most embarrassing parts was, I like the Amazon airbrush did not come with a manual. So fun times. So I was like, I had taken it all apart, and I had the piston and the valve for that actually like regulates airflow from the compressor to the gun, and I couldn't get it to, I'm spending 10 minutes live being like, well, let's see if this configuration works. No. So ultimately I ended up going to grab the other one because I bought a 2-pack of these really shitty airbrushes so I could take it apart and be like, oh yeah. And like, should have done this 5 minutes ago instead of stumbling and struggling live. But then when I got to when I got to the good one, I was like, oh yeah, look at this. The more you know. So
It's okay.
it was frustrating, but it's like, oh man, this is stupid. Like, why am I having such a hard time with this? Yep, because I put the spring in backwards. That's why. All right, so let's see. Where do people find you, Nicole? the.madhattress. And then they find me over here.
No, hold on. Here we go.
There you go. There we go. Cool. I pulled up my shirt sleeve and everything. So Rick Stroh everywhere. Threads, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Cool. All right, everybody. Let's see. Yeah. Dry fit before you commit.
And I hope La Befana brought everyone gifts last night for the Epiphany. If you're Italian, you'll understand. And if you don't, Google it.
The more you know. All right. Have a good night, y'all.